Hello dear students, welcome to the second lecture of the planning. The first lecture we discussed the theme is the planning. What do you mean by the theme is the planning? And what are the importance of the planning steps and what are the important elements regarding the planning. And the second lecture we are going to discuss the types of the plan. What do you mean by the planning premises and the decision making and what are the barriers of the effective planning. These are the important contents of the second lecture. Different types of the plan, planning premises, the decision making and the barriers of the effective plan. So first we discuss the different types of the plan. What is the planning? The planning is deciding in advance what should be done in future. The term is known as the planning. And we're discussing the different types or the classification regarding the planning. The plans are classified on the base of the kinds and on the base of usage. On the base of kinds, there is a 6 category. There is policy, procedures, rule, strategy, program and budget. These are the different classification according to the kinds. And according to the usage, that's 2 types of the plan. There is a single plan and there is a standing plan. There is a standing plan and there is a single plan. And on the base of usage, these are 2 important categories. Okay, these are the classification regarding the planning according to kinds and according to usage or the origin or use or the origin. And we're discussing the first category according to the kinds. The first one is the policy. What is a policy? An organization point of view using the term is a policy. A country point of country is using the term is a policy. What do you mean by the term is a policy? The policy may be defined as it's like a course or principle or the action adopted, proposed by the organization or the individual. It is a policy is proposed by the policy means like a proposed is a principle proposed by your organization or the individual. Suppose it is a manufacturing company, they are propose certain they give the certain proposal. This proposal is known as the policy. The government is framing a lot of the policy, export policy, import policy. These are the examples regarding the policy. And in the organization point of view, the policy means it's like a course or the principle of action adopted or proposed by the organization. The term is known as the policy. And what are the qualities? What are the characteristics of the policy? A good policy have the 7 important characteristics. What are the important characteristics? The first one is endorse. The policy is supported by the management. Endorsement means the support from the management. A good policy is purely depends upon the management decision making. So we have the sufficient support from the management. The term is known as the endorsed. So there's the first important characteristics of the policy. It must be endorsed. And second one is the relevant. The policy is applicable to the organization. The term is not a relevance. It must be applicable to the organization. It must be applied to the entire organization. That is a relevance. It's a very important element. And third one is realistic. The policy make a sense. The realistic way. That means it's a practical way. Suppose you're taking a policy, it must be realistic. That means must be useful for the practical sense. The term is not realistic. And another one is attainable. The policy can be successfully implemented. That's attaining the objectives of the organization. That means can be successfully implemented. The term is known as the attainable. And another one is adaptable. The policy is the accommodate the changes. That means change according to the situation. So adaptability is another important characteristics of the policy. And sixth one is enforceable. That means policy is a statutory. It's a very important element. The policy is always a statutory. That means enforceable. And seventh one is inclusive. The policy includes all the relevant parties. That means top level, middle level, lower level. It must be considered the entire parties of the organization. These are the 7 important characteristics for the good policy. That means must be endorsed, it must be relevant, realistic, attainable, adaptability, enforceable and inclusive. These are the important characteristics of the the policy. So what is the policy? The policy means a principle of action adopted or proposed by the organization or the individual. The team is known as the policy. That's the first important classification of the plan. According to the kind, there's a policy. And second one is a procedure. It's very important element, procedure. What is a procedure? You have the familiar with the term, the procedures. Suppose your admission point of view, there is a procedure. What do you mean by the term is procedure? The procedure means it's like a sequence of steps and specific for each step what need to be done. It's like a sequence of steps, step by step process. The term is known as the procedure. Or the procedure is like a document that instructs the workers on executing one or more activities of the business process. The term is known as the procedures. It's like a way of action. Sometimes it's like a way of action. Step by step procedure. It's a described sequence of steps and specify for each step what need to be done. So the term is known as the procedure. That's the second important classification of the plan according to the kinds, that is the procedure. The first one is the policy. The policy is like the actions of the proposed by the organization or the individual. That is known as the policy. A procedure means like a sequence of steps specified for each step what need to be done. The term is known as the procedure. And third one is a rule. That is a rules and regulation. We are familiar, the term is rules and regulation. What is a rule? Rule means specific actions taken or not taken with respect of situation. It's like a specific actions to be taken or not taken. Suppose a person is violating rule, definitely he will face the consequences. That is a violation of the rule. And the rule is like a specific action to be taken or not to be taken with respect of situation. The term is known as the rule. അല്ലെ, ഓരോ സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ എന്ത് എടുക്കണം എന്ത് എടുക്കണ്ട ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് സ്പെസിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന എലമെന്റ് ആണ് റൂൾസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. പ്രൊസീജിയർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എങ്ങനെ എടുക്കണം, എങ്ങനെ ഓരോ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യണം, അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് സ്പെസിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന ടീമാണ് പ്രൊസീജിയേഴ്സ്. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് റൂൾ ഈസ് ലൈക്ക് എ സ്പെസിഫിക് ആക്ഷൻ ടേക്കൺ ഓർ നോട്ട് ടേക്കൺ വിത്ത് റെസ്പെക്ട് ഓഫ് സിറ്റുവേഷൻ. എന്തെടുത്തു എന്തെടുത്തില്ല, ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ എന്ത് ഡിസിഷൻ എടുത്തു എടുത്തില്ല, ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് സ്പെസിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന ടീമാണ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് എ റൂൾ. And another one is strategy. Strategy is always relating with the military operations. Like the Uri attack, we face the term is strategy. Strategy, what is strategy? It's like related to the military operations. Specific part of actions followed in organization. Suppose war front, we using the lot of strategy. It means art of planning or directing the overall military operation and the movement in the war. That means as an organization point of view, we are using the term strategies like a specific art of actions followed. Sometimes ഇതൊരു മിലിറ്ററി ഫോർമാറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ സ്ട്രാറ്റജി പറയാം, എങ്ങനെ പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്ത് എങ്ങനെ ഡയറക്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത് നമ്മൾ വിജയിക്കും, അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് സ്പെസിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന ടീമാണ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് എ സ്ട്രാറ്റജി. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് വൺ ഓഫ് ദി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ക്ലാസിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഓഫ് ദ പ്ലാൻ, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് എ സ്ട്രാറ്റജി. And the strategy involves two important steps. There is a formulation and the implementation. And strategy point of view, there is two important steps. There is a formulations and the implementation. You must be formulated the strategy for the organization success, and you must be implement this policy. And war point of view, the commanders or the commanding leaders are framing a lot of the formulation of the policies. So the formulating the strategy and the implementing the strategy. So the two important steps of the strategy, there is a formulations and the implementation. So there is a procedure, there is a rule, and there is a strategy. And another one is a program. The program is another important elements of the planning. What is a program? Program is like a plan of action aimed at accomplishing the clearing your objectives. That means to achieve the objective, to clear your objective, we are using the term is a program. Program is a plan of action aimed at accomplishing a clear business objective. That means with the detail what work is to be done and whom, when, what mean for resources will be used. The term is known as the programs. There is specific programs. നമ്മൾ പലപ്പോഴും കേൾക്കാറുണ്ട് ഓരോ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഓരോ പ്രോഗ്രാംസ് കൂടെയാണ് പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് പറയും. The program എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ like a plan of action ആണ് aimed at means accomplishing the objectives of the organization. The team is known as the program. And what are the characteristics of the program? Suppose a program point of view, the program must be single use of plan. Program എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു purpose-ന് വേണ്ടി മാത്രം, ഒറ്റ കാര്യത്തിന് വേണ്ടി മാത്രം യൂസ് ചെയ്യപ്പെടുന്ന എലമെന്റ് ആയിരിക്കണം. That is a single use of plan. And prepared to achieve the objectives of the organization. You must be prepared. What is the program? What are the objectives of the program? എന്തിനാ programs വേണ്ടത്? To achieve the objectives of the organization. It's prepared to achieve the objectives of the organization. That it presents the fixed timetable. ഒരു ടൈം ടേബിൾ വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. പ്രോഗ്രാംസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഒരു കോളേജിലാണെങ്കിലും അവേഴ്സ് ഫിക്സ്ഡ് ടൈം ടേബിൾസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അതുപോലെ എന്ത് കാര്യം പ്രോഗ്രാംസ് ടൈം ടേബിൾ വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ്. ഇറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ബി എൻഷുർ ദ കോർഡിനേറ്റഡ് പ്ലാനിങ് എഫേർട്ട്. കാരണം കോർഡിനേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് എല്ലാ കാര്യവും കൊണ്ടുവരാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും. Okay, these are the important characteristics of your the program. There must be single use of plan, prepared to achieve the objectives of the organization, present the fixed timetable for each step undertaken. It should be ensure the coordinated planning effort. These are the important characteristics of the program. Okay, and after that, what do you mean the team is a budget? That's the last classification according to the kinds. There is a budget. The budget, we are familiar with the word budget. There is like an expense and the income statement. That means like an estimation of the revenue expenses over a specific period. That means expenditure revenue നമ്മൾ comparison to organization എന്ത് expenditure വരുന്നു എന്ത് revenue വരുന്നു. The comparison is known as the budget. The budget is like an estimation of revenue expenses over a specific future period, time period. കാരണം എന്തെല്ലാം എക്സ്പെൻസ് വരും, എന്തെല്ലാം റവന്യൂ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ ഓവർ ദ പീരീഡിൽ ഉണ്ടാവുന്നുണ്ട്, ഇത് സ്പെസിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ടീമാണ് നമ്മുടെ ബഡ്ജറ്റ്. That's one of the important classification. There is the budget. So these are the classification according to your the kinds, the policy, the procedure, rules, strategy, program, and the budgets. And according to the use or origin, there are two types. There is single use and the standing plan and the single user plan. We're discussing what is the standing plan and the single user plan. What is the standing plan? The standing plan means these plans are used again and again. It's very important. These plans are used for again and again. A lot of example. The example include the policy, procedure, regulation. These are the standing plan. We can use again and again. The advantage of standing plan is that foster unity of the fairness. There must be unity of the operation. Suppose you are framing the standing plan, there must be unity of the operations. What is the standing plan? The standing plan is like a plan is designed to used again and again. The term is known as the standing plan. And what is single user plan? The quite different. What is a single user plan? Definitely it must be used for a single purpose. That means it's a specific plan used for the only certain purpose. That means a particular situation or particular problems solve വേണ്ടി മാത്രം ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന പ്ലാനുകളാണ് സിംഗിൾ യൂസർ പ്ലാൻ. ഒരു വാർ വരുമ്പോൾ ആ വാറിന്റെ ടൈമിൽ നമ്മൾ പ്ലാൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കും അല്ലെ. ഒരു യുദ്ധം വരുമ്പോൾ ആ സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ പ്ലാൻ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി നമ്മൾ മേക്ക് ചെയ്യും. അപ്പൊ അതൊരു സിംഗിൾ ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പേർപ്പസിന് വേണ്ടി ആക്കുന്ന പ്ലാൻസുകളാണ്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് എ സിംഗിൾ യൂസർ പ്ലാൻ. Single user plan is also known as specific plan since their objectives to solve the particular problem. ഒരു particular situations അല്ലെങ്കിൽ particular problems solve ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി മാത്രം ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്ലാനുകളാണ് that is the single user plan. These plans are formed hand the non-repetitive. That but repetition ഇല്ല. Standing plan നമുക്കറിയാം again use ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും. But single user plan there is no repetitive, there is no unique element. That means the repetitions ഇല്ല. That's only for specific purpose. Which types of the plan is known as the single use of plan. Okay, these are the two important classification regarding the plan according to use or the origin. The first one is the standing plan. These are the plans are designed to used again and again. വീണ്ടും ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കുന്ന plan. That is the standing plan. Single user plan is also a specific plan and is used for the particular problem. That is a single user plan. These are the classification according to the according to the use or the origin. These are the different types of the plan. There is a kinds, policy, program, procedure, budget, and according to the use or the origin there is a standing plan and the single user plan. And after that what you mean by the term is planning premises. The steps of the planning, one of the important step is preparing the planning premises. We're discussing what you mean by the term is planning premises. That means planning premises means environment. What is internal, external environment? The planning premise are anticipated environment in which plants are expected to operate. So anticipating the environment, that means situations prevailing in the environment. The term is known as the planning premise. Planning premises are the anticipated environment in which plants are expected to operate. The term is known as the planning premises. It's very important കാരണം എവിടെയാണ് പ്ലാൻസ് ഓപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് അത് ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന ടീമാണ്. ദാറ്റ്സ് പ്ലാനിങ് പ്രൊമൈസസ്. ഓക്കെ, ആൻഡ് what are different types of the planning premises? As the operation point of the planning premise are classified into internal, external, tangible, intangible, controllable, non-uncontrollable, constant, and variable. These are different types of the planning premises. We're discussing the one by one. What are the internal, external? Okay, listen, the first important premise is internal and external premises. Internal means within the organization. Internal premises are those which exist within the business enterprises. That means it's like man, material, machine, money, all of the part of the business, within the business. So identify this internal environment, that means within the organization. What are the important elements? To identify the important elements within the organization. The term is known as the internal premises. That means competency of the person, skill of the labor. This is a part of the internal. An external environment means purely outside the organization. That means market condition, population, growth, government policies, technological changes, business cycles. These are the part of the external premise. That means purely outside your organization. That is external. നമുക്ക് ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ പുറത്താണ് നമുക്ക് പല കാര്യങ്ങളും കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന എലമെന്റ്സ്, പുറത്ത് കാണുന്ന എലമെന്റ്സ്. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ടേം ഇസ് നോൺ ആസ് ദ എക്സ്റ്റേണൽ എൻവയോൺമെന്റ്. That's the first category of the premises, that's internal and external premises. That means it's what is the premise? Planning premise or anticipated environment in which plants are expected to operate. Anticipated environment ആണ് എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും നമ്മളത് പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ internal point of view, the first one, internal point of view, that within the organization. That means men, material, machine, money, all are the internal premises. And competency, managerial persons, all are the parts of the internal premises. An external premise purely outside the organization. That means product, market condition, population growth, government policies, all are the part of the external. And another one is a tangible and intangible premise. The tangible, which can be measured quantitatively. Definitely, നമുക്കറിയാം സാധാരണ ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റേറ്റീവിൽ മെഷർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന എലമെന്റ്സ്, ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റേറ്റീവിൽ മെഷർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന എലമെന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ടാൻജിബിൾ എന്നാണ് പറയാം. ക്യാൻ ബി സി, മണി, ടൈം, യൂണിറ്റ്, ഇതൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് മെഷർ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും. ആൻഡ് ഇൻടാഞ്ചിബിൾ പ്രൊമൈസസ്, that means cannot measured quantitatively. That means reputation, public relation, employee morale, motivation, which cannot be measured quantitatively. The term is known as the intangible premises. The tangible means which can be measured quantitatively. Intangible means which cannot be measured quantitatively. What are the measurable elements? Like time, money, time, unit, all are the measurable. And suppose employee morale, motivation, which cannot be measurable. So these are the two important elements of the planning of minds. One is internal and external. Another one is tangible and the intangible. And the third one is controllable and the semi-controllable or uncontrollable premises. Controllable premises, that means which can be controlled at the great extent, which you can be controlled. That category of premises is the controllable premises. What are the factors like the machine, suppose employees, money, which can be controllable. What semi uncontrollable premises? Semi controllable with those assumptions about the future which are under partial control. പകുതി നമുക്ക് കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന എലമെന്റ്സ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. അതിനെ പറയുന്ന പേരാണ് സെമി കൺട്രോൾ. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ലൈക്ക് എ premise or demand for the product, trade union relation, we can be partially controllable. The term is known as a semi-controllable. Control means purely controlling. Semi-control means partially controlled. Uncontrolled means we cannot control. Suppose government policy, you cannot control purely. So that is a purely outside. You cannot control. So that is the planning premises. It's a non-controllable premises. That is the first one, controllable. Second is semi-controllable. And third one is not controllable. And last category is constant and variable premises. The constant premises which have similar fashion, constant ആണ്, ഒരു ചേഞ്ചും ഇല്ല, സിമിലർ ആയിട്ട് പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക, ഇറസ്പെക്റ്റീവ് ഓഫ് എന്ത് ആക്ഷൻ എടുത്താലും സിമിലർ ആയിട്ട് പോവുക. That is a constant premise. Variable means it can be varies according to situation, vary in relation to the actions, vary ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന premise ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. That is the variable premise. These are the two important categories of the planning premises. One is the controllable, semi-controllable and uncontrollable, and last one is the constant and the variable premises. These are different types of the planning premises, and planning premises means anticipated environment, and there are different types of the planning premises: internal, external, within the organization, outside the organization, tangible, intangible, can be quantitatively measurable, which cannot be quantitatively measurable, controllable, can be purely controllable, partially controllable, semi-controllable, uncontrollable, the term is the not controllable. So that is, these are the different categories of the planning premises. And finally there is a constant and the variable premises. Constant means which is similar nature of the fashion, variable means which vary according to the situations. These are the planning premises. Okay, and after that, what are the limitations? What are the limitations of the planning? The planning has a lot of limitation. What is the planning? Deciding advance what should be done in future. And what are the important limitations of the planning? We are discussing some important limitations regarding the planning. The planning is a time consuming process. We are familiar that sometimes there is a long term plan, take a lot of the time. Definitely is a time consuming process. Then sometimes they are reluctant to change. That means do not accept changes in environment. That means that is a reluctance. എതിർപ്പുണ്ടായി, ചേഞ്ച് ആക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. That second important limitation is a reluctance to change. And third one is planning reduce initiative of the employee. Sometimes there is laziness is promoted with help of the planning. കാരണം ineffective plans ആണെങ്കിൽ laziness കൂടുതലായിട്ട് വരും. The plan reduce the initiative of the employees. And fourth one is capital invest in the fixed asset is a limited planning. That capital investment fixed asset capital investment പ്ലാനിങ് ലിമിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. കാരണം ഫിക്സഡ് അസറ്റിൽ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ് വന്നാൽ എക്സ്പാൻഷൻസ് ഉണ്ടാവും. ചിലപ്പോൾ ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ഇൻ ഫിക്സഡ് അസറ്റ് ലിമിറ്റ് ദ പ്ലാനിങ്, അത് പ്ലാനിങ് ലിമിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ദെൻ സംടൈം ദർ ഇസ് ഇൻആക്യുറേറ്റ് പ്ലാനിങ്സ് ഉണ്ടാവാം. ഇൻആക്യുറേറ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പ്ലാനിങ്സ് ദറ്റ് ഈസ് നെഗറ്റീവ്ലി അഫക്റ്റിംഗ് യുവർ ദ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ. ദറ്റ്സ് ഇൻആക്യുറസി ഇൻ ദ പ്ലാൻ. And another planning is affected by the external limitations. That means external environment cannot control the external environment. So there is a possibility for the external limitations. And planning is create the rigidity. There is a rigidity. Planning is definitely create rigidity. That means it is not flexible, not change according to situation. So that is rigidity. The last limitation, planning involves a huge cost. Sometimes there is huge cost, time consuming, and similar the huge cost involved from certain types of the plans. And these are the limitations of the planning. The first one, the planning is a time consuming process. There is a reluctance to change. The planning reduce the initiative of the employee. Then capital invested limited the planning. There is inaccuracy. The planning affect the external limitations, and planning create the rigidity, and planning involve the huge cost. These are the limitations regarding your the planning. And after what the theme is the decision making. The decision making very important term used in the business. A planning point of view, using the term is the decision making. What is the decision making? The term, the decision making is derived from the Latin word decido. That means take the right decision at the right time. That means take the right decision from the different alternative. That is the decision making. So the decision making is like a process of making choice, of identifying a decision, identify the better decision, gathering information, assessing the alternative resolution. So the term is known as the decision making. The take the right decision at the right time. The term is known as the decision making from the among the number of the alternative. The team is a good decision maker. A good manager is always good decision maker. Okay, I will be discussing about the important characteristics of the decision making. The first important characteristics, the decision making have the choice. There is different choice. Take the decision from the different choice. So the first important characteristic, there is a different choice. And another one is decision making is end process, proceed by the deliberation of the reasoning. It's like an end process proceeds. The decision making is like a end process, and the deliberation and the reasoning, that may be continuous process sometimes. End process, continuous process. And another one is the translate into the corrective actions that identify the alternative and the evaluate the alternative and take the correct actions. So that is one of the important, that is the corrective, means concrete action, is a concrete action, translate into the concrete action. And that means sometimes the corrective action and there is a concrete action. And fourth one is the rationality. The rationality means it's another important category of the decision making. Human brain, കാരണം എല്ലാ ഡിസിഷൻ എടുക്കുന്ന മനുഷ്യന്മാരായിരിക്കാം. സോ ദിസ് ഹ്യൂമൻ കൺസിഡറേഷൻ കൂടുതൽ വരുന്നു, റാഷണാലിറ്റി കൂടുതൽ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് അവിടെ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്. ദറ്റ് ഇസ് റാഷണാലിറ്റി. And fifth one is the decision making involve the commitments, creating the commitments in different workforce. That's the decision making is involve the commitment. And sixth one is it's selecting the best solution. That means selecting the best decision from the different types of the alternative. And these are the different characteristics of the decision making. Okay, what is the decision making? The decision making is the deciding, means take the right decision at the right time from the different alternative. What are the different characteristics of the decision making? It's like making a choice, and its end process proceeds and the translate into the concrete actions. That means result oriented activity, rationality. The decision making involves the commitment and selecting the best alternative. These are the important characteristics of the decision making. Okay, what are the different steps? What are the different steps or the process of the decision making? These are the different process of the decision making. The first one is identify the problem. The first you identify the problems in organization. Before the decision making, the first important step is the identify what is the problem faced by an organization or the particular department. The first important element, identify the problems. And second, gather the information, seek this fact. And second step is the gathering the information to solve this problem. They seek the fact. And that means identify the alternative. Third step is the identifying the alternatives. This is a very important step. This identifying the alternative. So that means there are different alternatives to solve the problem. You must be identifying different alternative. ഇപ്പോൾ ഓർഗനൈസേഷനിലെ മെറ്റീരിയൽ കാര്യമായിട്ട് കിട്ടുന്നില്ലെന്ന പ്രശ്നമാണ് നേടിക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് എങ്ങനെ അറേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാം ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള പരമാവധി ഓൾട്ടർനേറ്റീവ്സ് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യണം. കാരണം എവിടെ നിന്നൊക്കെ മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് അറേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും, അത് നമുക്ക് alternatives identify ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും. Then evaluating the alternative, which one is the best one? Evaluate this alternative, evaluating the alternative. From that we are selecting the best one. Just choose among the alternatives. That means you're selecting the best one. That is the choosing of the alternative. That's a choose. It's a very important element. കാരണം ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്നു, ഇവാലുവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, then choose ചെയ്യുന്നു. അതിന് ഏറ്റവും ബെസ്റ്റ് വൺ നമ്മൾ ചൂസ് ചെയ്യണം. And sixth one is the implementation of the decision. then അതിന് ശേഷം അത് ഇംപ്ലിമെന്റ് ചെയ്യും. ബെസ്റ്റ് വൺ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു, അത് ഇംപ്ലിമെന്റ് ചെയ്യും. And seventh one is review ഒരു decision. That means review ചെയ്യുക. കാരണം എടുത്തതിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും മിസ്റ്റേക്സ് ഉണ്ടോ നമ്മൾ റിവ്യൂ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. These are the pros of the decision making. The first you identify the problem, then gathering the information relating the problem and identify these alternatives, then evaluating the alternative, evaluating, then choosing the among the alternative, that means selecting the best one, then implementation of the decisions, a review the decision. These are the important the process regarding the decision making. What is the decision making? The decision making like a process of take the right decision at the right time. These are the important steps regarding the decision making. Identify the problem, gathering of the information, identify the alternative, evaluating the alternative, choose the alternative, implementation and review the decision. These are the different steps regarding the decision making. Okay, and after that, what are the barriers of the effective planning? Suppose you are planning. The planning is one of the important function of the management. I'm discussing what are the barriers related to the effective planning. The first barrier, inability to plan, inadequate planning. The first barrier is the inability to plan or the inadequate plan. That means this is the first important barriers of the effective plan. Some situation there is inability. That means the decision maker incapacity is one of the important element. Capacity ഇല്ലായ്മ, inability of the plan. കാരണം ആവശ്യമുള്ള സമയത്ത് ഡിസിഷൻസ് എടുക്കുക. Inadequate plans promote here. That's the first barrier of the effective plan. That's inability or inadequate plan. And second one is the lack of the commitment to the planning process. Commitment ഇല്ലാണ്ട് പല കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യുന്നു. That's another important barriers. അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്കൊരു കാര്യം ഇഫക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് ഓർഗനൈസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കില്ല. There is a lack of the commitment to the planning process. And third one is the inferior informations. നമുക്ക് പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഒരുപാട് ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻസ് ആവശ്യമാണ്. സപ്പോർട്ടീവ് ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻസ് കിട്ടണം. നല്ല ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻസ് ഇല്ലാണ്ട് വരും. ദാറ്റ്സ് ഇൻഫീരിയറിറ്റി ഓഫ് ദി ഇൻഫോർമേഷൻ. അത് നമ്മുടെ പ്ലാനിങ്ങിനെ നെഗറ്റീവായിട്ട് ബാധിക്കും. ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി നമുക്ക് ബാധിക്കും. And fourth one is focusing on the present and the expense of the future. The focusing on the present at the expense of the future. കാരണം പ്രസന്റിനേക്കാളും കൂടുതൽ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ഫ്യൂച്ചറിന് കൊടുക്കണം. The deciding advance what should be done in future. ഫ്യൂച്ചറിനാണ് പ്രസന്റിനേക്കാൾ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ഫ്യൂച്ചറിന് കൊടുക്കണം. ഫോക്കസിങ് ഓൺ ദ പ്രസന്റിന്റെ മാത്രം ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്ലാൻസ് അത് ഫെയിലിയർ ഓർ പോസിബിലിറ്റി ദറ്റ്സ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ദ പോസിബിലിറ്റീസ്. ആൻഡ് ടു മച്ച് റിലയൻസ് ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻസ് പ്ലാനിംഗ് ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ്. ചില സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ്റെ പ്ലാനിംഗ് ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് അവർക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള രീതിയിൽ പല കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാം. അപ്പോൾ അവരുടെ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് ഒരുപാട് ഡിപ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത സിറ്റുവേഷൻസ് വരാം. ദാറ്റ്സ് അനദർ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ഡ്രോബാക്ക്, ബാരിയേഴ്സ് ഓഫ് ദി ഇഫക്റ്റീവ് പ്ലാൻ. ആൻഡ് സിക്സ് വൺ ഇസ് എ കോൺസെൻട്രേറ്റിംഗ് ഓൺ ദ കൺട്രോളബിൾ വാരിയബിൾ. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ദ വാരിയബിൾ കൺട്രോളബിൾ അൺകൺട്രോളബിൾ പ്രൊമൈസസിനെ കുറിച്ചൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു. സോ കോൺസെൻട്രേറ്റിംഗ് ഓൺ ദ കൺട്രോളബിൾ വാരിയബിൾ മാത്രം അതിന് വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട് മാത്രം പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യാം. ദെൻ ടെക്നിക്കൽ പ്രോബ്ലംസ്, ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ദ ടെക്നോളജി അപ്ഡേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് പലപ്പോഴും യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ ടെക്നോളജിക്കൽ പ്രോബ്ലംസ് കൂടുതലായിട്ട് വരുന്നു. മിസ്അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിംഗ്, ദാറ്റ്സ് എ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ, ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് മിസ്അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിംഗ് ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ദ എംപ്ലോയർ ആൻഡ് എംപ്ലോയ്, ദെൻ ദ ടോപ്പ് ലെവൽ മാനേജ്മെന്റ്, മിഡിൽ ലെവൽ മാനേജർ. മിസ്അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിംഗ് ഈസ് ഓൾവേസ് ലീഡ് ടു ദ ബാരിയേഴ്സ്. ആൻഡ് അനദർ വൺ ഇസ് എ പ്ലാനിംഗ് ക്ലൈമറ്റ്. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാനുള്ള കഴിവില്ലായ്മ ഒരു ഓർഗനൈസർ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കാം. Lack of appropriate planning climate. Then another one, psychological difficulty. The difficulty may be arise a lack of the confidence among the planner. കാരണം ചെയ്യുന്ന വ്യക്തികൾക്ക്, പ്ലാനർ ചെയ്യുന്ന വ്യക്തികൾക്ക് അവർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ കോൺഫിഡൻസ് ഇല്ലായ്മ വരാം. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് സൈക്കോളജിക്കൽ ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ടീസ്. These are the barriers of the effective planning. The first one is inability to plan or inadequate planning, lack of the commitment and inferior information, and focusing on the present at the expense of the future, and too much reliance of the organization planning department, and concentrating on the control variable, the technical problems, misunderstanding, lack of the appropriate planning climate, psychological difficulty. And these are the important limitations of the effective planning. Okay, let me conclude. The first we discuss the different types of the plan. Our different types of the plan. The first one is the plans are classified according to the kinds and the use. According to the kind, there's policy, procedure, rules, strategy, program, budget. These are parts of the different types of the plan. And according to use, there is single plan and standing plan. What is the policy? The policy principle actions and the characteristics of the policy. Procedure, that means it's like a sequence of steps. Rules, like a specific action taken or not to be taken. Strategy is part of the military movements. It's like a planning and directive. And program is a plan of action. Budget is like a estimate regarding the revenue and the expenses. Okay, there is a standing plan. That is using again. That is standing plan. Single use, that means specific plan used for the particular situation. The single user plan. And planning premises, that means it's like an anticipated environment. Types of planning: internal, external, then tangible, intangible, controllable, semi-controllable, constant, and variable premises. What are the limitations? Reluctance to change, time consuming, planning reduce initiative, inaccuracy, the external limitation, rigidity, huge cost. These are the limitations of the planning. The decision making, take the right decision at the right time. The team is known as the decision making. Or the views, then the characteristics of the decision making, like a choice. There's a process, proceed, the rationality, then concrete actions involve the commitment, selecting the best alternatives. And the process of decision making, identify the problem, gathering of information, and identify the alternative, evaluating the alternative, choosing alternative, implementation, and the review. These are the important steps regarding the decision making. And after that, the barriers of the planning: inability, inferior information, then uncontrolled variable, technical problems, misunderstanding, psychological difficulty. These are the barriers of the effective planning. Okay, anyway, thank you so much, and thank you for watching me.